What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Stevie. So what's up? Yeah, I've tried to do this video several times. By the way, I know I probably look a little ratchet because I haven't had a shower yet, and because it's the morning and I'm chilling. And yeah, don't act like you don't. But the thing is, when you got a beard, man, if you do not get in the shower, you look a mess. But, hey, y'all see me when I was on the road and, looking all nasty and smelling all nasty. But, yeah, so, if y'all could have smelled through the phone, it was bad. So, anywho, yeah, I just wanted to, come in here, get these curtains open. But, yeah, no, I just wanted to get on here and, at least do a quick little video. Sorry I ain't been on here for a minute, man. I've been just really freaking busy working. Like, since I got back to Ohio, it's like I have just been a working little Stevie, It's been ridiculous. I mean, made good money, but, yeah, still, it was a lot of work. I ended up having to quit my job because my joints literally couldn't take it. Because it was just so repetitive, factory work. And what I was doing was just unloading crap from the line all the time. And I worked more than anybody else there. I'm telling you, I had not seen anybody else the entire time I worked there work as much as I did. And they ain't to brag, I was just a dude that wanted to make a buck, right? Ugh, but yeah. And so, thing is but that's why I trashed my body, I was working so many hours, it was ridiculous. So I quit and I got fired all at once. Because I was telling my boss, yeah, I don't think my body can take it. He's like, yeah, I'll call Express. He was quick to jump on that. He was quick to jump on it. He's like, you're not going to leave me, I'm going to leave you. Yeah. So, thing is though, I just wanted to jump up on here and, yeah. But first off, let me issue an apology. I did something gross that I don't like, I feel gross about it now. Paul Washer, I was listening to him, which, I don't agree with everything Paul Washer says and does, but the dude's freaking anointed, okay? And really, you're not going to agree with anybody and everybody. I got a couple friends of mine, we don't agree on everything, but we're friends, And that's anybody though. I've never agreed with anybody, and I don't think anybody ever has. That's what makes us, it's like a role-playing game, man. You gotta have different classes, right? For different objectives. But that's why we're given different offices. If we were all on the same stuff, we couldn't, we'd only be able to tackle one type of problem, right? And so, yeah, I'm a pacer, by the way. When I'm talking, dude, I drive people nuts because I pace. But it feels good, though. I like to move because I'm fat and I need to. But, but Paul Washer, he brought up something in one of his sermons, and it was so true. That dude can preach. I hope I can preach like that when I grow up. Again, and the thing is, he said something, he's talking about these preachers, going and, shucking and jiving for money, going and saying, if you don't donate to this ministry, it's going to go down. And he goes, well, then let it go down. And I thought about it, I was like, dude, that's so true. Because if it's the Lord's will, it's the Lord's bill, man. And, man, my mustache looks stupid. But, thing is, though, and I started thinking about it, I was like, dude, I totally got on YouTube and was like, yes, if you'd like to donate to my ministry, And so, and I thought about it, I was like, dude, the Lord provided for me when I didn't even have a cell phone and I was going across the country, the first time. I made it from Ohio to Utah without a dang cell phone. and I'm a millennial, like, shame on me. And so I just wanted to apologize and say I'm sorry for that gross crap that I did. Like, because, when I was, like, what it was I was out there, living out of my car, going across the country, and I was, kind of freaked me out, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was out there for like a year or so, something like that. And like, and I thought, well, the Lord said he's going to provide. Maybe this is how he provides. I don't freaking know. Honestly, like a lot of the time, dude, I'm just kind of winging it. And, sometimes I get it right. And like, but yeah, I mean, for real. So, if I made any of y'all cringe, if I, or if I made anybody think like all people in the ministry are just in for money, I'm sorry. Like, and money helps, but ultimately that ain't it. Like, for real. I mean, like, there is the God fed a prophet by a raven. There was another one he had, come up on a widow, and the Passover story where the oil and water, or the oil and the flour didn't run out, and yeah. So I feel like a turd now, and I'm sorry. I'm kind of grossed me out about myself. But, that happens because we're human and we're flesh. And, we all have fleshly moments. So, forgive me. But, yeah, and pray for me because I freaking need it. We all need it. But, like, there's a lot of people in the ministry that, like, act like, if you say, I'll be praying for you, they kind of, you can tell they're kind of like, you'll be praying for me. No, I'm the one who does the praying for you. No, please pray for me because I'm a freaking human being. And dude, like, Stephen Garrett is still a sinner. Like, he tries not to be, but, like, I try my best to be pleasing to the Lord, but, like, in my best efforts, I am still a desperate sinner. Like, I need help. And it's only God who can really help me. And you guys by praying for me. So please pray for me, because that's the biggest thing. And maybe say hi once in a while or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we're supposed to have fellowship, and I don't mind having buddies. But yeah, thing is, though, is like, so yeah. Now, on to what I was going to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this kind of short because my phone likes to cut me off at like 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. So, thing is, and if I need to make a part 2, I'll make a part 2 if I have to. Hopefully I don't have to, though. So the thing is what I want to talk about is being scholarly. Okay, so if you're a Christian, you are called to be a theologian. All right, like, now if you got saved on your deathbed, hey, you got out of the work, but well, kinda. I mean, but really, yeah, once you're a Christian, you need to be a theologian. You need to be a scholar, dude. And the thing is it's it's probably the biggest problem that I've noticed in most of modern day Christianity. People don't want to study, man. The Bible says to study to show yourself approved. And, and this is what leads to things like apostasy. And, if you don't know what apostasy is, Google it. Thing is, like, if I say stuff that you don't know what it is, pause the freaking video. Go look it up. If you're on here, you got access to Google. Look it up. Like, don't just sit there and go, well, I don't know what that is, but whatever, and just roll with it. Dude, look it up. That's how you learn. So I'm a nerd, as you can probably tell. I'm a freaking nerd, and like, I'm a word nerd specifically. Like, I mean, literature and all that other stuff has like kind of always been my cup of tea. And, like when I was a kid, my mom was in college and I used to do her homework for Greek mythology. I was like, probably like 11 years old, something like that. and I got her passing grades for college Greek mythology homework because the stories were just interesting to me. I didn't know at the time that was idolatry, I didn't know no better. But the thing is I was always interested in the different religions of the world, right? Because they're really interesting freaking stories. Now a lot of those stories I know now are demonic deceptions, or also men trying to be God. And so, yeah, well, the thing the thing is so this stuff kind of comes more naturally to me than it does other people. Like I've noticed like math people who are really good at math are really bad with words and stuff. People who are really good like mathletes and word nerds, we kind of just stick to our own thing, right? And there are some people that like master both, and those people are genius. But usually that's how it is. It's like you're either a mathlete or a word nerd. I'm a word nerd, and I am terrible at math. I'm trying to get better, but I'm getting better as time goes on. But it just doesn't come so naturally to me. So, but the thing is I've noticed like there's a lot of people that are better at math than they are like words and stuff, and so they to them these concepts are frustrating, and a lot of the stuff seems like you're just splitting hairs, and it's like and it's really hard to explain to people why it's not splitting hairs. You see, so in the Garden of Eden, the thing that the devil had going on that the other beasts of the field didn't was subtlety. Okay? And so, get some water. So thing is subtlety is, it's like how they say the devil's in the fine print. And the more you can pick up on subtle things, the more you can see through his games. And so I've noticed like a lot of the Bible is, understanding nuances. And, thing is though, is, a lot of the Bible is understanding nuances. And, there are certain nuances that you will not understand in the perversions, such as the NIV, the ESV, the NASB. All these Bibles, they're not Bibles, all right? They're not. They're watered down. They're crap, okay? They're crap. And, like, I've got people I love to pieces. And they advocate these versions. And, the thing is, and y'all know who you are, I still love you, but no. But anyhow, and look, and by the way, if you'd like to see some good information about this, check out Dr. Gail Ripplinger. She did a lot about the supremacy of the King James Version, and I've heard her say certain statements like Charles Spurgeon was, whatever. She's made, but all right, like that's neither here nor there. I don't know her position, whether she's an Arminian, a Calvinist, or a Wesleyan, or what. But I'm a Calvinist, by the way. So yeah. But thing is, if you know what that is, there you go. You're either going to love me or hate me. But thing is though is but I guarantee you probably don't understand Calvinism if you hate me. Like most people don't. Most people can't comprehend Calvinism because you have to understand nuances, and most people don't understand nuances because we live in a very polarized culture. But anywho, so she did a lot of good work on the legitimacy of the King James Version over these perversions. And look into the Theosophical Society, look into Madame Blavatsky, look into Hort and Westcott. They were two occultists that had a lot to do with the perversions being made. And so you'll notice if like people who read the perversions over the King James Version, and I'm talking like the King James Version with the Apocrypha, okay? I am an advocate of the Apocrypha. I know what a heretic I am, but I'm just saying in Second Esdras, they called Jesus out by name. As Ezra said, the Son of God, his name is Jesus. And this is Ezra the prophet. So the thing is, in the original King James Version had the Apocrypha. And there are other texts too, like that are out there that I haven't got to read yet, because I think there's over 200 other books that Ezra wrote. That's something a lot of people don't know that I'd like to get to read, and most of them we don't have anymore. I think we only have 30 surviving manuscripts. But anywho, so yeah, thing is so, but look into Horton Westcott, because they brought forth a lot of these perversions. They're the daddies of these perversions. And so there's a lot of blatant agenda behind the perversions. I do not call them versions. They're not Bibles. So it's not a version of the Bible. It's a perversion. And because I can't remember which one it was, but one of them blatantly calls Satan the morning star. And it's like, dude, what? And so, yeah. But, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up. I'll get to it. It's not just to be controversial. But controversy is something that I have to stir up, because that's the nature of the truth. The truth and a lie can't, coexist. I know it's in today's culture, everybody's like, oh, we need to coexist. Do we, dude? No. Jesus said differently. Jesus said, don't think I come to cause peace. But, man, my hand's shaky. But he says, don't think I came to cause peace, but derision, And what that means is the division between the truth and the lie, right? And today, people try to make the truth and the lie coexist. And it's no, dude, that's like oil and water, There is definitive truth, and this is why you have to be scholarly, all right? And so, the thing is, but yeah, you'll notice that people that use the perversions tend to be a lot more fleshly. They tend to look for an out for their flesh all the time. Okay, we're all saved by grace. If you're saved at all, you are saved by God's grace solely. But He works the process of sanctification in you. And so the thing is you are called to holiness. And now you're not going to walk that out perfectly. It's why you're given grace. But, yeah. And so, but a lot of these people, not all of them at all, because Paul Washer, I love that dude. He is a great man of God, but he uses the perversions. And don't know what, well, he's actually explained why. And a lot of them will say this too. And this is a lot of people that use the perversions, okay? So they're not all not all of them have a dirty agenda. Some of them do. But a lot of them, this is the boat they're in. And Paul Washer, he said, I don't want to, he said something to the degree of, he says, sometimes I just want to read the Bible and I don't want to try to figure out what this phrase meant and how it meant. And I understand that. But if you read the King James Version enough, and it really doesn't take a lot, you get it down, you get the language down, and you're like, oh, okay. And there's some things you have to, it takes some time to understand. Like David said, I'm pretty sure it was David, or Joshua, can't remember, who said that they're going to go into a certain place and slay everybody that pisseth against the wall. And that means everybody who could stand up, who is of age to take a peek against the wall, they're going to kill them. And, because that was, at that time, what was supposed to be done by the children of Israel. And so the thing is, and that's a whole nother thing. So if you want, if you really want to get to that, read it with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And if you need help, just ask. But I will help you if I can, as much as I can. But the thing is, though, is so. But stuff like that, at first it's like, what? Or like, a cubit, like when I started, when I had to find out what a cubit was, I was like, oh, okay. Like there were other units of measurement other than inches. Like, what's up with this? Metric system. There's more than the metric system and what we got now. Like, okay. But, yeah. So thing is, yeah, so I understand that. And I understand a lot of people struggle with reading, and it's like, to me, that is so sad because, like, I take it for granted, like, I can just go and I can read some stuff and easy, and I can comprehend ideas that a lot of people can't comprehend, okay? And I take that for granted because, I think we all do it with whatever we're good at. That's just what I just so happen to be good at because that's what I got interested in from an early age. But, so a lot of people got that going on. And to that, what I say is, dude, don't go to a bad version because you don't, that is because you don't know any better. That is just the perfect storm for deception. Okay. And so, all right, I bring all this up because there was a guy that comes up to me in Walmart yesterday and he was trying to go around and talk to people about, how Christians need to keep the Jewish law to be saved. And I had to look at him. I was like, well, do you believe in the legitimacy of the Apostle Paul and, what he did and his writings? And he's like, yeah. And, we started going on because, if he didn't, that would have been a whole other thing. But because he did, I could talk to him a little bit. Because there's schools of theology within that you have to be scholarly, because if you're not, you will get deceived. And it's not just by people that got an agenda. Some people just don't freaking understand. And there's this thing called the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people who aren't very skilled in a certain area tend to think that they're way more skilled than they are. And the other way around, where people who are really skilled at what they're good, they just don't have any confidence. That's a huge thing. And so, yeah. Thing is, though, is this dude said this, and I was just like, and we're talking, and he brings up this. It's a verse. I can't remember which book it was in. But it was one of the epistles, I think, which, very vague. I know that's like most of the New Testament, right? But I'm pretty sure it's one of the epistles of Paul, and he's talking about, I wish I could think of what it was. But it was from the NIV, the one he pulled up. And how it put it, and I can't remember it verbatim, but it was like, he's saying, no, I don't keep the law of God. I keep the law of God and whatever. It's how it put it. But I was like, whoa. Look that up in the King James Version. And he's like, well, it says the same thing. I was like, let's see. And he pulls it up, and it does not say the same thing. He talks about the difference of, we're not saved by being under the law, the Jewish law, the law of God at that time. But we're under the law of Christ, which is being led, if you really know the Bible in context, that means that we are saved, but that we are under the law of Christ, the new covenant. We're led by the newness of the Spirit, not the oldness of the letter. But because he was reading a perversion, and how it put it seemed like that, and it supported his claim. And, which that is no small matter. Okay, like that is no small matter. In English, the King James Version is the most scholarly version that you're going to come across with the least amount of agenda, and it's been around so long because people say, well, there's mistakes in the King James Version. Yeah, well, it's been around for so long that I probably shouldn't say it like that. I'm sorry. But like, I get irritated though because like, there's so many people that actually just like have a beef with the King James Version because like, for petty reasons, for freaking petty reasons, and it just gets on my nerves. Because people really don't like truth. Like, even people that like are Christians and whatever, they still got that flesh they're doing battle with, and sometimes it deceives them because that's the nature of the flesh. And I do the same thing. I mean, obviously, I had to start this thing with an apology where my flesh deceived me. So, thing is, I ain't looking, no hate, my dude, like, but that's what it is. And so, thing is, yeah, self-awareness helps. But the King James Version has been around for so long. We know what the mistakes are more than we do. Like, the more new the version is, the perversion, the less we know about the mistakes that are in there because it just hasn't been read as much by as many people, right? And especially more scholarly people, because more scholarly people tend to stick to the King James Version. And I got base stinkers sometimes, but I'm gonna have to make a part two. But anywho, so thing is yeah. So sorry, I get off track making funnies, but or thinking I'm funny, but thing is though is so, dang it, Steven. Yeah, well, this dude, he was so wrong with what he was saying, and I started bringing stuff up about like which I'm very I'm very unpopular amongst because I told him I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm very I'm very unpopular amongst a lot of people that call themselves Christians because I don't celebrate the pagan holidays. Like I might, if you invite me over for food and you got presents for me, I'm not going to be a jerk and say, oh, well, I'm not going to accept your presents that you bought for me. Like that's a jerk move. But I don't put up the Yule tree. I don't celebrate Ishtar. I don't do all the Yule time celebrations and whatever. I don't do it. And you shouldn't either. But if you're a Christian, you should not celebrate pagan holidays. But yeah, like Christmas and Easter. But thing is, so I started telling him, I was like, yeah, when I started realizing that I started realizing what these pagan holidays were about and whatever, and I stopped, getting down with them. It's like, I kind of thought for a minute, like, we're supposed to keep the Jewish feasts and whatever, because it's like, well, what do we celebrate, right? And no, we're not required to celebrate those. And so, yeah. And hang on, before this thing cuts me off, I'm going to just say, click to the next video. There will be a part 2 of scholarship.